What's going on, YouTube? Just a little bit of night driving here.
Diamonds on the windshield as heaven starts to cry, and in his rearview mirror his angel waves goodbye. She knows he's gonna go, she knows he's one of them brothers of the highway, children of the wind. That Detroit diesel backseat goes blowing out again, sailing toward the setting sun.
So just doing a little bit of night driving. I really enjoy driving at night, but doing flatbed, don't really get very many opportunities to drive at night. Because most of the places we deliver to, they're not like warehouses where they're 24/7, where you can deliver anytime. It's normally 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 7 to 3. Some are like 6 a.m. to noon. So basically what I'm saying is, you can try to get on a night schedule, but it's not going to last more than a couple days. So just doing a little bit of night driving tonight since I can. I don't deliver until Monday morning, so I got 300 more miles to go. I shut down early today just so I can take advantage of some night driving, because I'd rather deal with the wildlife than everybody else around me. So just got the cruise set at 63. Got some music on. Just enjoying my ride up to Richmond. Should be a pretty smooth ride. So that's what's going on now.
Sailing toward the setting sun, freedom's their best friend, brothers of the highway, children of the wind.
What's going on, YouTube? Just got empty here in Richmond. Headed out to Chesapeake, Virginia to pick up a load here. About 100 miles away. I think that's what it is. Like 95 miles. So pick up in Chesapeake and head to Indiana. And then pick up a load going to the Memphis area. So I'll be in Memphis Friday morning, and it's a pretty good area, so I should be able to get hoping to get a home run load for the weekend. The good thing about it is I really don't care where I go, as long as it pays well, and I don't care what I haul normally. Now the last few weeks I've been really lucky. The whole last month I've been really lucky. I only had to tarp like 1-2 loads. I hauled one 40,000 pound load, and everything else was under 20,000 pounds. It was very nice. So I'm gonna head up here and get loaded. Head out to Chesapeake, Virginia, or head up to Indiana from Chesapeake. But I wanted to give 5 quick tips for new OTR drivers. 5 things that I wish my trainer or somebody would have told me when I started. The first tip would be not to be in a rush. Like, you're gonna feel that pressure, that rush, that urge to go, which you obviously want to work, you obviously want to hustle. But what I mean is, if you're in traffic, there's an accident, construction, there's not much you can do. There's no need to tailgate people, get pissed off when they cut you off. Is it annoying? It is. It's very annoying. But there's nothing you can do about it. So in like situations like that, instead of stressing yourself out about it, just sit back and do what you can do. I mean, everybody wants to get from point A to point B as smoothly as possible, as fast as possible. You know, it's all about money out here. Especially if you're getting paid mileage. So it's all on the miles. You know, the many miles you can get in, the bigger your paycheck's gonna be. But that's the first tip is don't let your dispatcher push you. Don't let the customer push you. You know, the agent, whoever it is that you're running that load for. Don't let them push you to where you would make foolish mistakes and get yourself into situations that could be bad. Now I've been there. I've gotten myself into situations before. Thankfully, I handled it right and didn't hit anything, didn't do anything crazy. But which leads me into my second tip. If you make a wrong turn, if you end up in an area you're not supposed to be in, if you end up in a situation where like you know you fucked up, the worst thing you could do is stress and panic about it. If you stress and panic about it, it's just gonna make it 10 times worse. You're already in the situation. There's nothing you can do about it at that exact moment to fix it. You're already there. Best thing to do would be get out of your truck, walk around it. You don't see any way out of it, whether it's backing up, having somebody help you back up, you know, call the local police department, call your company, let them know what's going on. I remember I had a load, I had a 2-stop load up in Vermont. I had been driving like 4 months, I think, 4 or 5 months. It was to a company called WB Mason. I had to stop. The first stop was nice. I was able to park on the property. They had a lot of docks. I slept there overnight, delivered in the morning. Went to make my second delivery. The address was off of Main Street. While I'm driving down Main Street, and all I see is houses and a couple of small businesses on the left, and then some houses on the right. Well, by the time I saw the little hanging sign for WB Mason, which was hanging on a house, I passed it. So I went down to the end of the street where all I could do was make a right-hand turn. After I made the right-hand turn, I would say probably a quarter mile down the road, there's a sign. It says 11'7" 1-lane bridge. Well, I couldn't turn right where I was because I had a bunch of boulders blocking it from keeping trucks from turning around. So there was a sign that said trucks use whatever highway it was. Well, I looked for that highway, I didn't see it. So next thing I know, I'm face to face with this 11'7" 1-lane bridge, this wood bridge. I set my brakes. I was stressed out, I was worried, I was nervous. I mean, I'm in a Swift truck facing an 11'7" bridge. So I set my brakes, turned my 4-ways on, got out of my truck, walked around, and I noticed the driveways on my sight side, one was like 70 feet plus long, and the next one next to it, they were both conjoined side by side. So the one next to it, I could park an empty trailer on it, you know, just a 52-foot trailer. Well, so before I could ask the cars to back up and give me space, they were already backing up, all of them, both sides. The ones in front of me, the ones behind me, almost in synchronization at the same time. So I'm assuming that they've all been through that before, once or twice, because the way they all backed up. Well, I backed into the driveway, right in the middle of the driveways, had enough room to turn around, and I got back to my delivery, which was delivering to a garage in the back of a house. So that was fun. So if you get into sticky situations, don't panic, don't stress. You can only make things worse for yourself. Tip number 3. When you're backing, wherever you're backing, doesn't matter where you're backing, always get out and look. Don't ever feel foolish or people are gonna make fun of you because you get out and look. Because what's really gonna make you look foolish is backing into something or someone because you didn't get out and look. Don't worry about the trucks waiting on you to back up. in the docks. Don't worry about who's watching you back up, who's watching you get out and look, because they can be in a hurry all day. And if they can't wait 3, 4, 5 minutes for you to back up, and they're pushing you, and you hit somebody, they're going to be there a lot longer now waiting. So don't worry about anybody that's waiting for you to back up. Make sure you get out and look. I haven't had any accidents in 5.5 years, thankfully. And I truly attribute that to getting out and looking when I back. Just watching my surroundings when I back, watching people. Both my windows are down. Taking my time when I back. Just when you're backing, every backing is different. You'll go one day and you hit the tightest dock anyone's ever hit. And you hit it perfect. No pull-ups, first shot, you get it. You feel really good about yourself. People saw it. Then you go on the road, 10 minutes later, the truck stop. There's 5, 6, 7 empty spots right there. You try to back into one of them, and for the life of you, you can't hit one of those spots and there's nobody around. So every backing is different. Everybody has their good days and bad days in backing. Just make sure you get out and look. Once, twice, 3, 4 times, however many times it takes. There's times when I first started, I had to get out and look 6, 7 times, and I didn't care. Because all I knew was I was in a Smith truck and I wasn't going to hit anybody. So, that's my 3rd tip. My 4th tip is there's these really nifty things on the outside of your cab. They're called mirrors. I see so many people, that end up in the ditch, end up taking out a truck's hood in the truck stop because they didn't take the turn wide enough and they weren't watching their mirrors. The mirrors are there. It's a big tool. Use them. They're not just for show. Keep the mirrors clean. Keep your windshield, your windows clean. But use your mirrors. Take your turn slow. Don't worry about who's behind you, who's pushing you, who's in a hurry. You're responsible for your truck, the cargo on the trailer that you're pulling, getting it from point A to point B safely. So definitely use your mirrors. Using your mirrors constantly. I check my mirrors even when I'm driving. I still check my mirrors with the 5 to 8 seconds. I'd say 90% of the time. It's just a habit that I got myself into when I started driving. What else are you going to be doing? You're driving down the road. You're going to be just look straight out your windshield your whole shift. Check your mirrors. Get your body used. You got to build that muscle memory. Get your body used, your head used to turning, looking at the mirrors. Take your right-hand turns really slow, especially right-hand turns, because generally they're the tightest turns we're taking. We got to take them wider. If you've been driving for any length of time, a week, 2 weeks, you know that right-hand turns can be very dangerous. And left-hand turns can be just as dangerous, but you see a lot more right-hand turn accidents than left. My 5th tip for new OTR drivers is to keep your left door closed. Now, what do I mean by keeping your left door closed? If you want to make money, you're not going to do it by stopping at every other truck stop you see. You want to get your drinks, get your snacks in the morning, and once you shut that left door, your driver's side door, you want to keep it shut until you get to your pickup where you got to get fuel or your 30-minute break. The more you keep that left door shut, especially when you're getting paid mileage, the more money you're going to make. So make sure that you got everything you need and just keep that in mind. Now, it seems kind of like common sense, I guess, but it took me a couple months to really figure that out. Especially if you're working for one of the mega carriers, you're governed somewhere around anywhere between 60 and 65. Especially when you keep your left door closed, you're going to see it all the time. You're going to see those guys in the big bad Peterbilts driving 75 miles an hour, blowing your doors off. And at the end of the night, you're going to end up shutting down at the same spot they did. Or they're going to pass you 3 or 4 times. So they're stopping a lot just because they're going faster. So, little bonus tip, little bonus info here. For everyone that thinks 65 is too slow, I'm driving 63 right now. So, the faster you drive, the more your eyes are moving, the more your head's moving, the more information that your mind is receiving and having to analyze. And at the end of the day, you're that much more exhausted. It is so much easier to set the cruise at 63, 65, get in the right lane, and let everybody else pass you. You don't have to, you still check your mirrors and stuff, but when you have that much information coming at you at 70, 75 miles an hour, it's mentally exhausting. I mean, it's already mentally exhausting, but it's that much more mentally exhausting. So don't think that you have to find a small company that lets you run their trucks wide open to be this cool truck driver. I get places driving 65 just as fast as most people get going 70, 75. Now, unless they got in the truck and drove 70 for 500 miles and never stopped, then of course they would make up time. But generally, guys that drive 70, 75, they're stopping more often. So don't feel bad if you're in a company truck that's governed between 60 and 65. Learn how to play the game at that speed and make as much money as you can at that speed. Can we hit our accelerators? So, there's my 5 tips. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to do more videos like this. This are just things off the top of my head while I was driving that I wanted to put out there. Hope you guys have a good day, make some money, and be safe.